What really happened at Ruben Amorim's first big training session at Manchester United? Hey United fans, welcome back to United Daily Updates. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We are your most trusted source for everything Manchester United. We bring you the real stories, the inside news, and the honest opinions about our club every single day. Turn on those notifications so you never miss anything important about the team we all love. The morning that could change everything. What if I told you that one training session could change the entire future of Manchester United? What if everything we've been waiting for started on a foggy Tuesday morning at Carrington when most of Manchester was still sleeping? This is exactly what happened when Ruben Amorim called his players together for what he described as a session that could define us again. But what does that really mean? How can 90 minutes of training change a football club? And why was this particular morning so different from all the others? Let me take you inside that training ground and show you exactly what happened. You'll see why players walked off the pitch with something they hadn't felt in months. You'll understand how Amorim is building something special at our club. And you'll know why this session might be the turning point we've all been hoping for. When the sun came up over Carrington. Picture this scene. It's just past 9 in the morning. The sky is grey and cloudy, just like most Manchester mornings. There's a thin mist floating over the perfect grass at Carrington training ground. The air is cold and sharp. But something feels different today. The players arrive carrying their water bottles and training gear, but their faces look serious. Really serious. There's no joking around like usual. No casual chat about what they did last night. Everyone knows this isn't going to be just another training session. Why were they all so focused? Because after weeks of disappointing results, after fans getting frustrated, after critics questioning everything about the club, Amorim had made it clear. This was the day they were going to start fixing things. The new manager walks among his players with a clipboard in his hand. He's watching everything. Every pass, every touch, every movement. Nothing gets past him. You can tell he's not just going through the motions. This matters to him just as much as it matters to us fans. Starting simple but demanding perfection. You might think professional footballers don't need to worry about basic warm-ups. These are world-class athletes, right? They should be able to do simple jogging and stretching without any problems. But here's where Amorim shows his genius. Even during the warm-ups, he demands perfection. When there's a clatter from a misplaced pass during a simple drill, he notices. When one of the attackers lets out a frustrated grunt because something didn't go right, Amorim is there. He moves from station to station, correcting posture here, demanding more sharpness there. The message is crystal clear from the very first minute. Nothing sloppy will be accepted anymore. Not even in warm-ups. Think about this for a second. If you can't do the easy things perfectly when there's no pressure, how can you expect to do them right when 75,000 people are screaming at Old Trafford? This attention to detail is what separates good teams from great teams. But then something interesting happens that shows you exactly what kind of manager Amorim is. Benjamin Sesko, the young striker who's been trying to prove himself, catches the manager's attention. And not for good reasons at first. The moment that shows what Amorim really wants. Sesko loses the ball once during a drill. Then he loses it again. You might expect a manager to get angry or frustrated. Maybe pull him aside for a talking to. But Amorim just watches carefully. He's studying the player, not judging him. On the third try, something magical happens. Sesko doesn't just get the ball back. He forces an error from a senior defender with a clever move, then sprints through the gap that opens up. It's exactly the kind of play that gets fans on their feet during matches. Amorim nods his approval. Just a simple nod, but it means everything. Because now we understand what the new manager is really looking for. Not perfection from the start, but the character to keep trying when things go wrong. The willingness to learn from mistakes and come back stronger. This is huge for United. For too long, our players have looked defeated when things don't go their way. They've stopped trying, stopped taking risks, stopped believing they can turn situations around. But Amorim is building something different. He wants fighters, not quitters. Breaking down the new system. After warm-ups, the real tactical work begins. This is where we get to see inside Amorim's mind and understand how he wants Manchester United to play football. The squad splits into specific groups. Defenders work with midfielders. Attackers train with fullbacks. But why these combinations? What's the new manager trying to build here? The main drill focuses on something called quick transitions. This means switching from defense to attack really fast when we win the ball back. It also means pressing immediately when we lose possession. But here's the clever part that shows Amorim's tactical intelligence. He's not asking for random pressing or basic running. When United lose the ball, the attackers have to make runs into what coaches call half spaces. These are the areas between the center of the pitch and the wing areas. Most fans don't think about these zones, but this is where modern football is won and lost. Why are half spaces so important? Because when your striker runs into this area, the opposing centre-back has to make a difficult decision. Does he follow the striker and leave a gap in the middle? Or does he stay in position and let the striker receive the ball in a dangerous area? Either choice creates problems for the defense. Casemiro becomes the quarterback of this new system. The experienced Brazilian is constantly shouting instructions to his teammates. Don't let the forwards have easy angles. Squeeze the space. Now pick the pass. This isn't just one player doing his job. This is about 11 players thinking and moving as one unit. The fullbacks get a new job. Under Amorim's system, the fullbacks have probably the most demanding job on the pitch. They're not just defenders anymore. They're not just attackers either. They have to be both, sometimes within seconds of each other. Watch them during training and you'll see them working tirelessly up and down the flanks. One moment they're overlapping to support the attack. The next moment they're sprinting back to defend. This is incredibly demanding physically, but it's also what makes the system so effective. When both fullbacks push forward at the same time, it creates overloads in wide areas that are almost impossible to defend against. But it only works if the midfielders and centre-backs are perfectly positioned to cover the space left behind. The wingers get specific instructions too. Cut inside, but not just for show. The movement has to drag the opposing fullbacks out of position and create lanes for teammates to exploit. Every single action has to have a purpose in Amorim's system. Set pieces could win us matches. Here's something that might surprise casual fans. In tight matches, especially big games, set pieces often decide the final result. Amorim knows this, and his approach to corners and free kicks shows just how detailed his preparation is. United's corner routines are crisp and perfectly rehearsed. One routine that stands out involves faking a pullback to the edge of the box. This draws defenders out of position, creating confusion. Then the ball gets fired sharp to the near post where a running centre-back flicks it toward goal. During training, the goalkeeper makes a smart save, but this is all part of the practice. Amorim immediately stops the drill and replays the moment. He's showing his players that positioning matters in every tiny detail. Where you stand, when you start your run, when you track the ball, everything has to be perfect. Free kicks from 20 to 25 yards get the same detailed attention. The defensive wall is practiced over and over again. Why spend so much time on this? Because in real matches, these situations happen in split seconds. There's no time to think or organize. Everything has to be automatic. The manager's message comes through loud and clear during this work. Matches aren't won by individual brilliance alone. They're won by discipline, by mastering the small moments that most people don't even notice. Recovering 1 second faster, pressing 1 step harder, anticipating 1 moment earlier. When tiredness shows true character. Here's where the training session gets really interesting. Halfway through, when the players are starting to feel tired, Amorim introduces small-sided games. 4 players against 4 players, plus 2 extra players who can play for either team. But here's the genius part. He does this when everyone's already tired from the previous drills. Why would a manager make training harder when players are already working hard? Because this is when you see what players are really made of. When legs are heavy and lungs are burning, that's when discipline either holds together or falls apart. That's when character shows itself. That's when you find out who will keep fighting when things get difficult. The intensity jumps immediately. Players are competing like their places in the team depend on it. Because maybe they do. A miscommunication between centre-backs leads to a quick counter-attack. The ball finds Sesko, who holds off his marker brilliantly and fires a shot that beats the goalkeeper just inside the far post. Suddenly there's cheering from everyone. Players, coaches, staff members. It's just a training drill, but the emotion is completely real. Maybe, just maybe, Sesko is becoming the striker United needs. These moments of success during tough periods build confidence that carries into real matches. Bruno shows his magic still works. Then Bruno Fernandes takes over moment and reminds everyone why he's so special. The Portuguese midfielder drops deep to collect the ball, drawing pressure from 2 defenders. This creates space higher up the pitch. With defenders closing in on him, Bruno spots Garnacho making a run. He slips a pass right through the legs of a midfielder, finding the young winger in perfect position. The movement and vision combine beautifully. It's a reminder that creativity is still alive in this Manchester United squad. This is what good training sessions do. They create situations where players can rediscover their best qualities. They build the understanding between teammates that makes impossible passes possible. They restore confidence that might have been shaken by recent poor results. The connection between Bruno and Garnacho in this moment shows something crucial. These players are starting to understand each other better. Bruno's pass only works because he knows exactly where Garnacho will be. Garnacho's run only creates danger because he trusts Bruno to find him. Learning to think differently. What's fascinating about watching Amorim work is how much attention he pays to changing the way players think about football. This isn't just about running faster or kicking the ball harder. It's about making different decisions. During the small-sided games, you can see players making choices they might not have made a few weeks ago. They're taking more risks with their passing. They're pressing higher up the pitch. They're trusting their teammates to cover for them when they push forward. This mental shift doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of daily reinforcement of new ideas. When Amorim nods approvingly at a good play, he's building confidence. When he immediately corrects a positioning error, he's teaching that improvement is always possible. But he's also demanding accountability from everyone. No one gets to coast through drills. No one gets comfortable. This creates an environment where mediocrity becomes impossible. Building trust through shared struggle. One thing that really stands out about this training session is how Amorim uses pressure to build team chemistry. The drills are designed so that if one player makes a mistake, it affects the whole group. This might seem harsh, but it's actually brilliant psychology. When players know their teammates are depending on them, they naturally raise their own standards. When they see teammates working hard to cover their mistakes, they develop real respect for each other. Casemiro's leadership during the session shows how this works perfectly. The Brazilian midfielder isn't just playing his own position. He's organizing the entire team, making sure everyone understands their role in the system. This kind of leadership only develops when players trust each other completely. The understanding between different players starts to grow during these high-pressure drills. Defenders learn to trust that midfielders will cover for them when they push forward. Attackers learn that teammates will make supporting runs even when they're tired. Individual growth within team success. While team tactics get most of the attention, Amorim also focuses heavily on individual development. Sesko's improvement during this session shows this perfectly. The young striker starts by losing the ball twice in simple situations. In the past, this might have led to criticism or being taken out of drills. But under Amorim, mistakes become learning opportunities. Sesko is encouraged to keep trying, to keep taking risks. When he finally succeeds with that clever move to win the ball back, the positive reinforcement builds his confidence immediately. By the end of the session, he's scoring goals and earning respect from his teammates. This is how you develop young players properly. Each player in the squad has different needs for their development. Some need better tactical understanding. Others need more confidence. Some need improved physical conditioning. The best training sessions address multiple needs at the same time. Amorim seems to understand exactly what each player needs to improve. His individual attention within team training is what separates great coaches from average ones. He knows that team success only comes when individual players reach their potential. Old-school methods still matter. Modern football uses lots of advanced technology for training and analysis. GPS trackers, heart rate monitors, video analysis systems. All of this technology helps, but Amorim's approach shows that traditional coaching methods are still the most important. The clipboard in his hand isn't just for show. He's taking detailed notes on each player's performance. He's tracking who's improving and who needs more work. He's identifying patterns that might not show up in computer data. But technology can't replace the human elements that make training truly effective. The nod of approval when a player does something excellent. The immediate correction when something goes wrong. The energy that builds when the whole team succeeds together. These are the irreplaceable parts of great coaching. The personal connection between coach and player, like that meaningful look between Amorim and Sesko at the end of training, can't be measured by any computer. But it might be the most important part of the whole session. Every drill has a match purpose. Everything in this training session connects directly to real match situations. The transition drills prepare players for moments when possession changes quickly during games. The pressing work gets them ready for matches where they need to win the ball back immediately. The half-space movements Amorim emphasizes aren't random tactical ideas. They're based on his analysis of how modern defenses can be broken down most effectively. When United face organized opponents who defend deep, these movements could be the key to creating scoring chances. The detailed set-piece work addresses a basic reality of football. In tight games against good opponents, dead ball situations often decide the final result. Teams that are better prepared and more organized in these moments have huge advantages. Even the small-sided games under fatigue serve a specific purpose. In real matches, the most crucial moments often come in the final minutes when players are exhausted. Training under these conditions prepares both minds and bodies for when it matters most. The psychology of winning. What's most interesting about observing this training session is seeing how psychology and tactics work together. Amorim isn't just teaching players what to do with the ball. He's changing how they think about what's possible on a football pitch. When players succeed in difficult drills, their confidence grows naturally. When they see teammates supporting them through mistakes, trust develops between them. When they experience the satisfaction of executing complex tactics correctly, they start to believe in the system completely. This psychological transformation might be even more important than tactical changes. Players who believe in themselves and their teammates can execute any system successfully. Players who doubt their abilities will struggle no matter how good the tactics are. The cheering when Sesko scores during the small-sided game isn't just about that one moment. It's about creating an environment where success is celebrated and players genuinely support each other's development. Recovery and looking forward. As the intense session winds down, the focus shifts to recovery and reflection. Players engage in light jogging, gentle stretching, and use foam rollers to help their muscles recover. This isn't just about preventing injuries. It's about giving minds time to process everything they've learned. During this cool-down period, players naturally cluster together, sharing water and conversation. These informal moments are often where real understanding develops between teammates. Players discuss what worked well, what didn't go so smoothly, and how they can improve next time. Amorim addresses the entire group, praising their energy and noting that improvement is clearly visible. But he also acknowledges that unacceptable lapses still exist. His message strikes the perfect balance between recognition of progress and demands for continued improvement. Don't let them get comfortable, he tells his players. Every second counts. This mindset of constant improvement is what separates winning cultures from mediocre ones. It's what Manchester United has been missing for too long. Assistant coach Cesar Romero maps out what comes next in their development. Recovery protocols to help bodies heal properly. Video analysis sessions to review what happened during training. Opponent scouting to prepare for upcoming matches. The work never stops, but each phase builds on the previous one. The moment that says everything. As players walk off the pitch, sweaty and breathing hard from the demanding session, there's one moment that captures the entire morning perfectly. Sesko, still catching his breath from the intense work, meets eyes with Amorim across the training ground. They share a simple nod. Nothing dramatic, no big celebration. Just mutual recognition between coach and player. But this moment represents everything that training is really about. The nod says so much without words. I see your effort. I see your improvement. I believe in your potential. Keep working, keep improving, keep believing in yourself and this team. These human connections are what transform groups of talented individuals into cohesive teams that can achieve great things. They're what make the difference between good and great, between potential and actual achievement. What this means for our future. After experiencing this training session, players leave Carrington with something different than when they arrived that morning. Not complete satisfaction. There's still plenty of work to do, but with a genuine spark of hope and determination. This session represents much more than just preparation for the next match. It's about rebuilding the mentality and identity that should define Manchester United. It's about remembering that excellence requires daily commitment to improvement, not just talent. The tactical elements we've discussed, the pressing system, the half-space movements, the detailed set-piece routines, these will definitely help United compete better against opponents. But the psychological elements might be even more important for long-term success. The renewed confidence in individual abilities, the improved communication between teammates, the growing trust that allows players to take risks for each other. These changes could transform the entire club culture. Lessons that apply everywhere. What's remarkable about studying this training session is how many of the principles apply beyond just professional football. Whether you're coaching youth teams, playing amateur football, or just trying to improve your own game, Amorim's methods offer valuable lessons for everyone. Attention to detail matters, especially in simple tasks that form the foundation for more complex ones. True character shows itself most clearly when you're under pressure and things aren't going your way. Individual improvement and team success are always connected. You can't have one without the other. Positive reinforcement builds genuine confidence much better than constant criticism. Trust develops through shared experiences of working hard together toward common goals. Excellence requires daily commitment, not just occasional bursts of effort. The idea that training could define us again applies to anyone trying to reach their potential in any area of life. The daily work, the commitment to improvement, the willingness to push through difficulty when progress seems slow, these are universal principles for achieving success. The bigger picture for United. This training session represents something much larger than just preparation for upcoming matches. It's about cultural change at Manchester United. It's about establishing new standards that will influence everything the club does going forward. Amorim understands that changing a football club isn't just about buying different players or implementing new tactics. It's about changing how everyone thinks about their responsibilities and what they can achieve together. That fundamental change starts in training, with daily reinforcement of new ideas and higher standards. The players who experience this session will carry its lessons into matches, but they'll also bring them to future training sessions. They'll demand more from themselves and their teammates. They'll approach challenges with completely different mentalities than before. This ripple effect is how truly great coaches transform entire clubs. One session at a time, one small improvement at a time, one player at a time. The process requires patience from everyone, but the results can completely transform what seemed possible. What comes next? As we think about what this training session means for Manchester United's immediate future, several things become clear. The tactical clarity that Amorim is bringing will help players make much better decisions during the pressure of actual matches. The increased intensity and attention to detail will prepare them for the physical and mental demands of competing at the highest level. The improved communication and trust between players will make the entire team more than the sum of its individual parts. But perhaps most importantly, the renewed sense of purpose and genuine belief in what's possible could be what finally separates this season from the recent disappointments we've all endured as fans. When players truly believe in their system, in their teammates, and in their own potential to achieve great things, remarkable results become possible. This is what we've been missing at United, and this is what Amorim seems to be building from the ground up. The daily work continues at Carrington. Each training session builds on the previous ones, each small improvement enables the next level of development. The process requires patience from all of us, but the foundation being laid could transform Manchester United back into the team we all know they should be. Final thoughts on a special morning. After taking this detailed look inside Ruben Amorim's training session at Carrington, one thing becomes absolutely crystal clear. Greatness in football isn't built through single moments of inspiration or dramatic speeches. It's constructed through daily commitment to improvement, through obsessive attention to detail, through the willingness to push beyond what feels comfortable. This session that Amorim called one that could define us again wasn't defined by revolutionary new tactics or motivational speeches. It was defined by professional athletes working harder than they thought possible, supporting each other through difficulties, and gradually building the understanding that makes truly great teams possible. The next time you watch Manchester United play at Old Trafford or away from home, remember everything you've learned today. The pressing that forces crucial turnovers, the intelligent movement that creates scoring opportunities, the set pieces that produce vital goals, all of it starts with sessions exactly like this one at our training ground. Amorim and his players clearly understand that football matches are won through meticulous preparation, not just natural talent or hope. The dedication you see in daily training, the tactical precision practiced until it becomes automatic, the mental toughness developed through challenging drills, this is the real foundation that Manchester United's future success will be built upon. What aspect of Amorim's training methods impresses you most as a United fan? Do you think this detailed, intensive approach will finally translate into consistently better performances when it matters? Can you see the clear difference between this systematic preparation and what United have been doing in recent years? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to United Daily Updates for more exclusive behind-the-scenes content about the club we all love so passionately. We're here every single day bringing you the insights, analysis, and honest opinions that help you understand Manchester United better than any other source. Thanks for reading this deep dive into what could be a turning point for our club. And always remember, every truly great performance starts with great preparation. The dedicated work being done right now at Carrington today could very well define the Manchester United we see tomorrow. Glory, glory Manchester United.